He'll start the return inside his 5. Nice job executing all of the assignments as they put a stop to that return at the 22. So Oregon's offense will have the first crack at it in this one. Out of the gun, the inside give. Makes it past the marker. To the 43-yard line and a first down for this offense.
I'll tell you, the defense is going to have to do a much better job containing these outside run plays. They better be able to funnel the football back to the middle of the field because this guy with his speed can kill you like he did on that outside run play there to the left.
Going to try to pop one on the screen. And this one will be stopped for no gain.
And you're trying to get the ball to the running back quick and let him get some space, but there was absolutely no space. They penetrated quickly, and they got him before he could even get going.
Oh, he's got some space. And a nice run there before the defense finally makes the stop. The margin for error is so small in this conference. It's really imperative to get off to a good start in Big Ten play.
Especially, Reese, since you're adding so much talent now to this conference. But, yeah, year in and year out, you know the mainstays in this conference, but there's always some surprises. And I'll be interested to see how everybody starts off this season. Listen, this is your first opportunity, Palmer, in conference play, in a major conference, obviously in the Big Ten, to make your first statement.
And it's going to be taxing all season long for these players. Physically, obviously.
He's got it, first down and more. And they finally get him to the ground. An easy conversion for this offense. Defense not exactly the perfect fourth down call there. And the Ducks are moving quickly down the field. Smith dropping to pass. It's complete to the left. And they pick up just a few on that completion.
Well, it's important in this game, this offense gets the running back involved out in the perimeter in space where he can do some damage. That time they got it to him throwing the football. He picked up a couple of yards, but it gives the defense something to think about.
Makes the catch. It's Hilton. They make the stop, and he'll have enough yardage for a first down. Looks as if we have an injury on that last play, and we'll take a break to check him out. The Ducks have it with a 1st and 10. They're looking to pass from the red zone. Got some room, headed to the goal line. He almost punched it in for 6. They'll get him down at the 1-yard line. The Ducks have it in scoring position on 1st and goal. They'll try to get it in with the run. This junior making his presence felt and making the stop after a short gain.
Well, we know this defense is one that plays with a lot of pride, right? Part of that is their ability stopping the run. They're a top 25 unit in the nation when it comes to stopping the rush, and that really helps them out down here in the red zone. They're going to have to step up big time in this situation.
Right there to stop him, and that'll be a loss of 3.
All right, so now you're in this 3rd down situation close to the goal line, and it just feels, David, like they're going to have to throw the football in order to score a touchdown here. I like maybe trying to get the quarterback outside on the perimeter and give him a run-pass option.
I like that, too. Get the quarterback on the move.
Touchdown, Oregon! Grab the short pass to put the 6 on the board. You thought it was noisy when the Duck rolled out on that motorcycle? Decibels through the roof in the House of Loud.
And what a great job getting this crowd going early. This is not one of the biggest crowds in the country, but Autzen Stadium is one of the loudest places you will
it with the back. Got the first down. Looking for more. That's the kind of play that can really get you going as they get it out to the 36. To the ground. He's got it again. And I think they'll give him 2 on that one. 2nd and 8 coming up.
And the defense doing a great job committing to the run. When you commit to the run like this, obviously you can give up some plays in the passing game, but you got to stop the run first.
Now the play fake. Finds his tight end. He's really close to that first down marker, but they stop him just a bit short. You know, David, this is really what game managing is. Nice pickup on 2nd down to help them on the next play.
Yeah, I think people look at that negative sometimes, finding a quarterback that's a game manager. No, use your brain. Set up good situations. I'm way more successful when I can keep those sticks at a more manageable situation, and I'm not as predictable on a 3rd down.
They're in their own territory, but they only need a few inches, and this is why you have a prominent jawline and an urgent resolve. They'll go for it. On 4th down, trying to find his man. Takes a hit as he releases it and just spiked it right into the ground. And Oregon has it back, and here comes the offense. Already a solid start to this one. Now back to work with this 7-0 lead. Looking for a gap. It's Larson. And the defense snows him under after a very short gain. Picked up 2 yards on that last one. They need 8 on 2nd down. They'll run play action. On the move, he fires. Working on the right. And you can see the offense just feeling itself. They've got it down to the 21.
That's a really nice looking throw. And when I think about the Ducks offense, I think about explosive plays, right? In the running game, but also in the passing game. I feel like if this team is going to win the conference, they need this guy here to be able to make throws like that on a consistent basis. But I'll tell you, he really gives them a chance. He makes this offense go.
They'll wrap him up, and he didn't find the same kind of running room this time as he did on the previous play. Working well behind the sticks on 2nd down. Smith wants to throw. Plucks it out of the air. He'll be forced out of bounds. They'll mark it at the 13.
Nice completion here to this wide receiver, and you're going to see this receiver line up in different spots all over the field all game long. Defense has got to keep their eye on where this guy is because they know he's a big part of this offense's success.
Stop at the 3, but it'll be enough to give them a 1st and goal. And the Ducks have their offense in high gear. Looking to throw. Can't find his man as he took a shot trying to deliver that football, and it'll be 2nd down. Couldn't make the connection last time. Let's see if they throw it again. Quarterback may change this route. Wants to fire on 2nd down. Now he's going to glide away from pressure. Trying to buy a little time, and he cannot, but he does get it back closer to the line of scrimmage.
Well, the offense has tried to throw the football twice now in goal-to-go situations. They haven't come up with anything positive. You know the windows get a lot smaller down here. This is going to be a very tough play on 3rd down trying to generate a touchdown.
They'll look to throw on 3rd and goal. That pass not close as he got drilled trying to deliver it, and it'll bring up 4th down.
And that is the play this defense had to have. Did you look in the secondary right there? I mean, he was open, guys. Like, that would have been a touchdown, and this defense got to the quarterback, hit him as he's throwing the football, forced the errant pass, and dodged a bullet.
Let's go to the studio now and check in with Kevin Connors. Kevin, what do you got?
Big one this week in the SEC. Heck, they're all big ones in that conference. Alabama looks like a legit title contender right now, which they kind of do every year. But, man, this offense is rolling. They're up 14 over Mississippi State. Implications galore inside the SEC, and we'll circle back if anything big should happen.
Oh, and how about that? I know Kevin and those guys will be can start to add up as he gets it up to the 34. And the Hawkeyes in a good spot here with 2nd and short. The give to the back. All down, but they'll move the sticks as he picks up the first down.
They needed only 1 yard. Good job by the offensive line, getting just enough push to keep this drive alive.
Looking for a physical attack from the gun. We'll give him a couple on that one. 2nd and 8 coming up.
Man, a nice second effort by the back to break a tackle. But how about those defensive backs willing to come up, stick their face in the fan, and make a tackle?
Those are the best run defenses, too, right? It's not just D-linemen and linebackers getting all the plays, but it's DBs that are willing to not just come.
Nowhere to go, and the ball is loose. Oh, and he gets it back, so you can file that one under. Could have been worse. Now a lot of work to do to move the chains, keep this drive alive after that earlier sack. Pocket breaking down. Not able to hook up there, incomplete.
This is a team right now playing with tons of confidence because of how much their defense is dominating. Just look what they did the last time they took the field, and look what they're doing early in this game. They've got dudes flying around making plays. They are a tough unit.
Coverage team gets the job done, and they'll mark him down at the 38-yard line. The Ducks ready to go back to work on offense. They've built a quick double-digit lead now to try to get this offense really humming. The give to the back. How about this sophomore stopping him short of the first down line?
And those body blows really, really matter. Like, I want to be able to hand the ball off to my running back 10, 15 times a game. Make the defense tackle them, wear them out. Sometimes these 3 to 4 yard runs, later in football games, they turn into 5 to 15 to 20-yard gains just because of the body blow effect.
Time has expired here in the quarter, and Oregon has the lead. Really strong performance so far to be able to build a lead here in the first period as we look at the stats. They largely dominated the first quarter and built a nice lead to get started. Had a chance to talk it over during the break, and they'll start with 2nd down. Wants to go up top. Caught over the middle. It's Green. And he picks up the first down, and he does it. I'm not going to say spin move. That was a pirouette. It was elegant. It was beautiful. Just nosing into enemy territory at the 49. It's 1st and 10. Makes the grab. It's Butler. Good execution. They move the sticks, and they've got it at the 33.
This offense is clicking, and clearly everything is working. The offensive coordinator's calling good plays. The quarterback and his unit is executing. And this defense right now, they have no answers.
There he goes. And he'll run into the end zone. Touchdown, Ducks. How efficient have they been as they extend this lead here in Week 5?
And how about the OC slipping in the screen pass? Try to mix it up, slow down that pass rush, let it come up the field a little bit, get it to your running back, let him do the rest. Nice blocking, nice play call to throw in the screen to change it up a little bit and get the big touchdown.
And he'll just take a knee, and this drive will start at the 25. Iowa has it back on offense, hoping to ride the wave to the end zone. They've got nothing done so far, and they already find themselves in a 3-possession hole, Jesse.
Yeah, and as a head coach, you're wondering, what didn't I say? What didn't I do to get my team ready to go? Because we look like we're sleepwalking at this point.
Nothing went well in the first quarter. You just say refresh. Like, let's try to find a way now, chip into this lead, try to make it somewhat manageable when you get to the half.
Dropping back, it's Montgomery. Makes the grab. Didn't pick up a lot there, moved it forward just a few.
So it's 3rd and 1, and this quarterback right now has got to be expecting pressure. So you want to know where your hot routes are. You got to know where your best one-on-one matchup is. But understand this, we're still in the first half. If the defense gets you, tip of the cap, you can take a sack. Punting the football at this stage of the game is okay.
Man, man, if I'm a defense, I got to find a way to get some more pressure on the quarterback or disrupt their timing and their rhythm. I can't give them these big chunk plays through the air. I got to be maybe a little bit more aggressive or do something a little bit different.
And he broke one tackle on the way to a solid pickup there.
And winning first downs is a priority for a defense, and you can't get bludgeoned. You can't get physically beat at the point of attack. You know the percentages. It's usually pretty good on first down that they're going to run.
And the quarterback runs out of time, and down he goes at the 38.
This is not going to get any easier. You're already down. You know it's passing situation, and you got to protect your quarterback, and they can't do it. This has not been a great day early for this offense.
In the gun and looking to throw on third down. Smashes ahead. What a play there, and he rips off a big one all the way to the 16-yard line. They have been stagnant on offense, but finally a little forward movement as they've got a 1st and 10. Use the play fake, now to throw. Picked off inside the 20, and they snuff out the threat. They got him down pretty quickly after the pick, but now they've got it at the 15-yard line. And Oregon has it back, and here comes the offense. And they've found no answers so far. Already to the end zone twice, tacked on a field goal, and now back for more. Hit hard as he released the ball on that 1st down pass, and it never had a chance.
The offensive line has got to give him at least a little bit of time to survey the field. He had no chance that time, getting hit almost immediately after he got the ball.
Try to make up for some of that lost ground on 2nd down. They'll throw it to the back on the screen. Breaks into the open. A huge gain on that one before he ran out of bounds, and he has the 1st down.
It feels like everything this play caller has called has worked so far in this 1st half of the offense. They've generated a really nice lead, lighting up the scoreboard, and they're staying aggressive. They're throwing the football. They're dictating everything right now to the defense.
They use the chunk play to cross midfield, and they've got it 1st and 10 just outside the 40. Looking downfield on 1st down. Moving out of the pocket. It'll be incomplete. Tried to extend the play, but just couldn't find anybody open.
I don't know about the decision that time by the quarterback. He may have been expecting man coverage, but that time the defense was in zone, and they did a really nice job closing the window. The intended target was not open, and that's why that one fell incomplete.
Just making a play, getting it to the 23-yard line. It'll be 1st down.
QBs, when you see zone coverage, man, can you manipulate defense when you have a good pocket and you've got time to throw. You had a little bit of time to throw. You can move guys with your eyes. That drag comes wide open. Good throw, good catch, 1st down.
Wants to go up top on 1st down. And that incomplete pass caused by the big hit on 1st down. 2nd down coming. Behind the chains now on 2nd and long. Wants to keep it in the air. Looking to scramble. He'll pull it down. Got some room entered to the goal line. Touchdown, Oregon! And they take it in for 6 more points.
And I love the decisiveness by the quarterback on that play. Nobody open downfield. I'm going to go get this myself. And I'm not just going to go get a 1st down. I'm taking this thing to the house.
Attempt the try. And the extra point will tack another one onto this lead. So that scoring drive took only 6 plays. Kickoff unit on the field, and this defense will be called on to protect this lead. And it'll be a touchback. The ball will come out to the 25-yard line. Iowa has the ball back on offense. They face a pretty tall mountain here, Jesse, down 24, but if they're going to climb it, this is a good time to start.
Sense of urgency's got to be big right here. You just get the feeling at this point of the game, David, they've got to score on this drive. Obviously, their defense needs to get stops, but at this point, offensively, they've got to execute much better.
They got to be super aggressive. Down 24, you're going to need 3 touchdowns, 3 two-point conversions, everything to kind of go your way. So fast and throwing the football.
And some room to work. This junior making his presence felt and making the stop after a short gain. Let's see what they've got on second down. To the air, it's Montgomery. Fires to the middle. Got his man on the right. And he's brought down after a nice gain.
I like the running back there on the route and the patience he showed, really setting it up. Got to the defender, he was able to put his foot in the ground, get some separation, catch it, and turn upfield for the first.
They'll go to the ground. They'll knock him down for a loss of a couple.
That's a fantastic play by the linebacker. He has such tremendous instincts. As soon as he sees run, he's coming downhill. He's got great speed. He gets you on the ground. That's why he's one of the best linebackers.
Just too much of a rush, and down goes the quarterback just behind the midfield stripe at the 49. Now a lot of work to do to move the chains, keep this drive alive after that earlier sack. On third and long, no secret what he needs here. Can't make the grab. Quarterback just missed him a little bit.
Every defense in the country talks about getting offenses in predictable third and long situations where I can bring on more speedsters and I know the pass is coming so I can have more success.
Excellent job on the punt. Bounces out of bounds at the 5, and they'll have 95 yards to go in front of them. They've got a little time here to put together a productive drive late in the half. Here's the give off the left side. There was just nowhere to cut back. Great job by the defense, and he'll have to take the loss.
This is such a hard area to have success as an offense. I mean, you're backed up near your own end zone. What you really want is just any kind of space. Like, can I get some breathing room? But again, I know this is a defense too. I know you're trying to get out of there, so I'm playing the run really, really hard. I'm sticking to the wide receivers out wide. Nice job, but hey, you didn't give up a safety.
Not a whole lot of progress made there on the short run. We got a timeout here late in the first half, and they'll try to get more points on the board before the break. Not exactly the ideal situation for this offense. Third and long, back up inside their 20. From the gun, wants to pass. That's caught. It's Gray. That's not quite going to be enough as they stop him 4 yards short of the marker. The defense calls the timeout, their second of the day, as they try to get their act together. So the offense is going to go for it on fourth down. He'll try to throw and pick up the first down. Makes a grab past the marker. He steps out of bounds, couple yards short of the 20. They'll mark it at the 18 after that pickup. The Ducks have it with a 1st and 10. Looking to throw on first down. Got it in the middle, it's Hill. And he won't quite get there, but boy, after that pickup, just a few inches to go for the first. An array of possibilities here. The Ducks have their whole playbook open here on 2nd and inches. Back to pass. Caught near the sticks. It's Butler. And works it to the 40-yard line. That'll be a first down.
This offense is clicking. Everything working together really well. Coordinator, quarterback, offensive line. Good rhythm, good flow. Defense is going to have to find something to kind of mess up this timing they got going on.
The offense lines up at the 40. They've got a first down. Moving away from pressure. From the comfort of the pocket, he fires it to the right. Oh, he had it. The deep ball was there, and it just trickled through his fingers.
Well, they're trying to get the big fella the football in the passing game, but they haven't been able to do that yet. He is a really nice target with his size and his athleticism, but him and the QB, they just don't seem to be on the same page right now.
That's caught. It's Hilton. They make the stop, trying to pick up just a little bit at a time to get to that first down marker. And the Ducks really need to keep this drive alive on third down. Oh, they really could have used that catch there. Physical pass defense. It brings up a fourth down.
Yeah, and you just wonder if the defense now has taken out some frustration. Obviously, they've been getting lit up all over the place, and that time they finally gave it back to the offense there. Really nice, big, clean hit. This defense needs a little bit more of that as the game goes on.
Desperately wanted to convert on fourth down, but couldn't do it. Looking to throw, it's Montgomery. Unloads it left. And the defense forced that incompletion with the deflection.
And this defense, we know, they present a lot of challenges. You can see it right there, man. They shrink windows fast. They're a top 25 defense for a reason. You really better make sure you're dialed in today, or else they can make you pay in a hurry.
Here's the pressure. Pressure is effective from the defense. They knock him down just behind the midfield stripe at the 48. The offense burns its third and final timeout of the half. Now a lot of work to do to move the chains, keep this drive alive after that earlier sack. On third and long, he'll need to loosen up that arm. Here comes the heat. Makes the grab on the left. He'll be stopped about 2 yards short of a first down. And they're running out the kicker to give it a try. He says he's got a big leg. He's going to have to show it from 56 yards out. The official says no good. Well, that's the way it goes sometimes. Missed field goal, still down by 24. That's the end of the second quarter. That means it's time to join Kevin in our halftime update.
Guys, after seeing that, sign me up for another 2 quarters there in Eugene. And there's no more fitting place to begin than with this stud receiver and how he's dominated the first half. Some guys have the ability to elude and evade. This young man is a true 3-level threat. Short passes, the intermediate game, and then the deep ball, he is a problem. And I don't think this defense has the solution. With that said, let's send it back to the guys at Autzen Stadium.
Thanks for that halftime report, Kevin. The Ducks will kick it away to start the second half. And he'll just take a knee, and this drive will start at the 25. Iowa has it back on offense, hoping to ride the wave to the end zone. They start this third quarter in a big hole, and they have to start climbing out right now.
And they're going to have to be really aggressive, Reese. Like
Turning on the Jets. And how about that? What the doctor always ordered, an explosive play to the 40.
How nice is it in an offense when you can generate explosive plays by running the football? You got to force feed this guy, man. He is an absolute game changer.
Right back to the well. And I think they'll give him 2 on that one. 2nd and 8 coming up.
And that run really didn't go anywhere. And a lot of times we don't focus on it enough. But how important those 5 guys are up front. To get on those defensive linemen, to try to move them out of the way, to get a run game going. It squarely falls on the shoulder of those 5 offensive linemen.
Back to throw, it's Montgomery. A strike downfield. Perhaps a touchdown-saving tackle at the 17.
The offense really struggled in the first half of this game, so it was important coming out of halftime. They were able to generate some momentum and get some rhythm offensively. And right now they look like they have it on this drive. Great news to see the quarterback make that last throw there to pick up the first down. They need him to play great in the second half.
Finds his big tight end. They'll get it down to the 8-yard line on that throw and catch, and the defense is backed up against the wall. Going to work on 2nd down in the red zone, and still some ground to cover to pick up that first down. Quarterback on the keeper. And he'll lose yardage on this play. Loses 2 yards. Great job by the defense.
Phenomenal job by the defense that time, shutting down the option play. They knew they were going to see this in this game, and all week long in focused on this assignment football, making sure the dive, the quarterback, the pitch, all taken away. Nowhere to go with the football that time offensively. The defense coming up with a huge negative play.
And I like it. 3rd down and short, and this offense stays aggressive, and now they're set up. Forget the field goal. We're not looking for 3 now. Now set up in a 1st and goal, trying to get a 2.
And he takes it in for the score. Touchdown, Hawkeyes. Sometimes we ask coaches about halftime adjustments, and they go blah, 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 blah. And then sometimes they make some good ones.
Sometimes that blah, 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 blah actually works, but it's working now. But it might be too little too late, but at least you got the party started.
And let's check in with Kevin Connors in the studio. Kevin?
Guys, you could make a case this is the game of the week in the SEC. Alabama is putting on an offensive clinic, the likes of which we've seldom seen, and this program has had some legendary players.
And they'll get him on the ground as the offense comes out to start the next drive. Looking for space, it's Larson. Nifty run there, pickup of 6 out to the 25.
Definitely been tough sledding for this guy, especially in the first half. They gave him the ball a bunch, but they just don't have a ton of yards on the ground to show for it at this point. That looked like a pretty good run, though. Just one. In the second half, if they keep giving him the football, it may start paying some dividends.
You always have to be aware of the running threat from the Oregon quarterbacks, but here getting business done through the air.
No doubt, Reese, because you're worried about his legs, the read game, all the stuff they can do. It opens up the passing attack, and I think when you've seen the Ducks teams throughout history, the ones that have enough balance to keep you off guard, keep you guessing, are the ones that are the best teams.
Nice route, nice catch by this receiver. What's important for a quarterback throwing the in route to a guy in the slot?
Well, I think he has to have great timing. I think the receiver needs to get his right depth so that they know exactly where each other is going to be and when the ball is going to be in the air. These two have outstanding timing with one another.
Plenty of work to do here on 2nd and long. Smith dropping to pass. Close to the marker, it's Bray. Really nice pickup on that one as they get it to the 36. It'll be 1st down. The Ducks are rolling down the field. They're going back to the ground. Had to work to pick up 3 down to the 33-yard line. After the 3-yard pickup, they come to the line 2nd and 7. They're testing the right side here. Got enough for the 1st down and wants more. All down, but he has enough to move the chains.
This shouldn't be a surprise to anybody. If you've got the lead in the 3rd quarter and you want to keep it, you got to bleed the clock. Best way to do that, run the football. And you're now seeing this offense call these run plays back to back. They are trying to be physical, and they're trying to stay on the field.
Running back searching for a hole. They get him on the ground, but not before he drives into the 10-yard line. 2nd down coming up on this red zone opportunity. Off the bootleg and rolling out. Gets rid of it. Makes the grab. He steps out of bounds, but not before he has enough to set him up 1st and goal.
This coaching staff has really done a nice job marrying the play-action game to their running game. That looked like that was going to be a run. Everything in that play said they're running the ball downhill. At the last second, quarterback pulled the football. He was able to...
Touchdown, Ducks! And the punishment has been extended. Precision blocking up front. Created the open lane, and the running back followed it beautifully.
Yeah, and it's pretty easy to follow an offensive line that makes those holes. It just gives you a caravan all the way to the end zone. What an unbelievable job blocking up front.
They'll try to add another to their lead. And the extra point is good. So it's an 80-yard drive and close the deal with a 3-yard touchdown run. Kickoff unit on the field, and this defense will be called on to protect this lead. And it'll be a touchback. The ball will come out to the 25-yard line. Iowa has the ball back on offense. They've got a long road ahead of them if they want to get back into this game, but they have to get to work on this drive. There was nowhere to run and nowhere to hide. A loss of 5 on that play.
And coming out in the second half, this offense, they needed to establish this run game. They needed to get something going. They're losing. They've got to find a way to get a flow, to get a rhythm. And so far here to start this second half, defense picking up where it left off.
Just had to get rid of that one. Good job to avoid the loss.
This is a situation here in the third quarter this offense did not want to be in, facing a top 10 defense, one of the best units in the entire country. They didn't want to get down on the scoreboard like this and all of a sudden have to throw the football when the...
Turning it on! Gets it to the 46-yard line. First down for this offense.
And that's why this guy is such a weapon in this offense, because you don't have to throw it far downfield. Just get the ball in his hands. He catches it close to the line of scrimmage. But look what he was able to do after the catch. He gets an explosive play for this offense.
After the productive first down play, it's 2nd and 6. Defense might bring the house here. Off the bootleg, looking to fire. Can't find a man, and he'll be knocked down at the 40.
And this offensive line's got to do a better job. Man, you've got to protect your quarterback. Listen, this offense is not playing great. They got to somehow find a way to start to get something together here in this second half.
Can't make the connection on third down thanks to that tough, hard-nosed pass defense, and now it's 4th down. The Hawkeyes send out the punt unit. Takes it on the return. Cover guys do their job, and they get him stopped at the 22-yard line. The Ducks ready to go back to work on offense. Really good balance on that last drive. They mixed it up all over the place, Jesse.
Yeah, how nice, too, to have the defense on their heels, because at this point, they don't know what's coming at them. They had problems stopping everything that last drive.
So I think this defense would come back with a little more aggressiveness. I mean, they let them have what they want, and now they got to dictate to this offense a little bit more.
Got stuffed on first down. It's 2nd and 10. And the pass is incomplete thanks to a big hit.
Well, the quarterback knew he wanted to go to his tight end on that play. He's a big physical target, but it was the hit on the play that forced the incompletion.
It'll be 3rd and long. From the gun, wants to pass. And a missed opportunity on 3rd down as the defense knocks it free, and 4th down is coming up. And the Ducks will try to pin them back with the punt. First time we've seen their punt team tonight. He's got it. Coverage team able to put a stop to that return at the 42-yard line. They'll open this drive from their own 42-yard line. On the run, it's Coleman. And maybe he'll get back to the line of scrimmage, but no more than that.
Well, it's a negative play trying to run the football, and I think if you're on offense, you got to be thinking about throwing it now. You're trailing by a lot. You got to get back in this game. You need tempo, and you need explosive plays through the air.
Got it behind the line. It's Anderson. The defense wouldn't let him loose there, and it was a completion, but
try to spit it out to the running back on the perimeter of the field. You saw the speed and recognition by the defense, though, how quickly they were able to get to the back and get him down for a big loss.
On 3rd and long, hoping to throw beyond the sticks. Caught in the backfield, it's Anderson. Not a whole lot of room there on that screen pass as it just never developed. And the Hawkeyes will send out the punt unit. 4th time tonight we've seen this guy come on to punt. All the way back to the 15. Couldn't get away from that cover team, and they've got him down at the 23. And Oregon has it back, and here comes the offense. They really didn't move the ball at all the last time they had it, hoping for better fortune this time around. The running back has it. Really nice job to squirt his way up to the 31-yard line.
You love to see this on offense. Early in drives, getting that kind of yardage keeps you ahead of the chains.
The Ducks with myriad options after that big pickup on 1st down. To the ground with the back. Works his way to the 41, and that is plenty to give him a 1st down.
It's got to feel good as an offense knowing that early in the drive you can turn around, hand it off, get a push up front, and go get positive yardage.
Looking to throw on 1st down. That's caught. It's Butler. Not much running room there thanks to this senior defender. What a day it's been on the ground for these two guys, and they just seem to get stronger as the game goes along as we take a look at the numbers. One more period to go, and we'll see just how much fight they've got left in them. It'll be 2nd down as we open the final stanza. Off the play fake. Under fire. They get to him as he throws. And he's brought down after a nice gain.
Well, I love play callers that want to stay aggressive regardless of what the score is, regardless of how much time is left on the clock. And I promise you this, there are a lot of fans, there are a lot of teams all across college football that are paying attention to what is happening right now.
To the air on 1st down. With the catch, it's Hilton. And he'll go out of bounds, and this aerial attack just continues to carve this defense into tiny slices. The Ducks will line it up on 1st and 10. From the red zone, he's going to throw it. Looking to buy time. And makes the grab in the end zone. Touchdown, Oregon! They give themselves a little more cushion as they try to reel off their 4th straight win.
Salt enter wound, right? Late in the 4th quarter, you can run the football, run this game out. No, sir. I'm going to continue to pad my stats, find my receiver out wide, and give me another touchdown.
Kickoff unit back to work, and they have been busy as they've built this sizable lead. And he'll just take a knee, and this drive will start at the 25. Iowa has it back on offense, hoping to ride the wave to the end zone. Last drive was a quick 3 and out, and now time is even more of a factor to get something going. And the defense holds firm. No pickup at all on that play. Just got one on that last run. Now 2nd and 9 from their own 26. Looking for a man. It's Montgomery. And he's all bottled up, and now it's worse. The ball's loose. They recover their own fumble. Somehow, who knows how they got that thing back. Now a lot of work to do to move the chains, keep this drive alive after that earlier sack. Didn't have much room to run and not a whole lot of help. Short gain there, and still plenty of ground to cover for the 1st down.
Listen, I know this running back is shifty. I know he's really good in the open field, but that's just asking too much of him at this point. 3rd and long situation. He wasn't going to be able to make that extra guy miss trying to get that 1st down.
He lets one fly deep. And it's incomplete. The long pass on fourth down is to no avail.
Listen, with the aggressiveness of offenses and taking chances, a lot of times it's going to put your defense in a hole. And this defense is going to have to come through in the clutch right here because you're trailing. They can't get more scores. They got to get a stop on this possession, and the offense is going to have to do better than they just did.
They got nothing on the last play. It's 2nd and 10. On the ground, it's Davison. They make the stop after a pickup of 3. Ball's at the 18.
And I know you can play these late-game situations differently, but I love when you just stay physical. You run the football. You preserve the lead. You got great field position. You're in a great position to salt this clock away and get a W.
And that'll not only be a first down, it'll be 1st and goal from the 7. The offense threatening. Close to the end zone now with a new set of downs. Gets it out fast. That completion will take it inside the 4, and the offense is threatening.
This is the area of the field defensively. It really doesn't matter what they've done to get here. You got to bow up, try to force the field goal. Nice job on 1st down and goal, getting them tackled to the ground.
Into the end zone he goes. Touchdown, Ducks! With that, the lead nice and comfortable, and they're cruising toward a 4-0 start.
Man, this has been a complete performance. The defense has been lights out, and the offense, obviously, just continues to pour it on. This is what you call having a great day. Putting it all together, offense, defense, complementary football.
Looks as if they didn't get it off in time. It'll be a delay of game.
Delay of game. Offense.
So the decision has been made, and the coach will take the penalty. And perhaps a slightly more difficult attempt from the 8. They're going to take another delay of game penalty. You just can't have these types of mistakes.
Delay of game. Offense.
The officials offer the deal, and the coach accepts it. They will take the penalty. Lining up to tack one more onto that lead. Well, you could draw a line in the middle, and he would have hit that thing. And for a quick update, let's go to Kevin Connors in the studio.
Interesting matchup this week in the Big 12 today. In fact, they're all interesting this season. Arizona State is currently ahead in this one inside a jam-packed Sun Devil Stadium, but despite the forks up right now, this one is tight. They're up by 11 over BYU. We'll circle back. If anything big happens, you should know about it. This one, the Big 12, or anywhere else in college football.
And how about that one? Kevin will be keeping an eye on everything going on elsewhere. Hand off from the shotgun. Running to Green. A collision, and he stopped at the 27 after picking up 1. After picking up a couple, it's 2nd and 8. Wide receiver going in motion. The play action fake. They get enough rush, and it pays off. The sack at the 20.
And this has been one of those days you want to forget. I mean, you're getting drunk. There's no other way to put it. It's been a bad day. I'm trying to put a drive together here, maybe to just get some kind of momentum, something positive, maybe something in the locker room we can talk about that didn't go wrong.
And the pressure is coming in, and they get him again.
And I bet the frustration meter for this offense is so high. If you can't keep your quarterback upright, it's hard to move the ball. It's hard to score points. This offensive line has not protected him at all, and that's why so many sacks keep happening.
And the punt team able to sling him to the ground. The Ducks ready to go back to work on offense. This offense has really been clicking in the game so far, Jesse.
No doubt. Everything their play caller is dialing up, these guys offensively have been able to go out and execute them.
Yeah, and it's just maintaining the lead. Keep doing what you've been doing. You got a big lead. Let's just keep piling it on until they find an answer.
And it's incomplete. If you're going to take a hit like that, you might as well hang on to the ball. Backed up now. Here's second and long. Looking to fire. The short hands. It's Hilton.
Well, the defense playing zone coverage there. They're taking away all of the QB's primary options down the field, so he has to check it down to the drag running underneath.
And the Ducks are at the line trying to move the sticks on third and short. Now he's going to break the pocket. Rolling, throwing, looking right.
And this offense stays aggressive and they pass the football. I think you can always look back and say, third and short, I'd love for you to run it, be the more physical team. But nice job sticking up and bowing their necks for this defense.
On fourth down, they'll throw for it. Big man has it. It's a first down and more. And the defense makes the immediate tackle, but he has enough for the first down. The Ducks come to the line with a new set of downs. To give as they work on that clock. Just enough room to gain a couple down to the 34. Got 3 on first down. It's 2nd and 7. Wants to go up top. Quickly out to the tight end. They knock him down, but he's got enough to get it across the line and pick up the first down. The Ducks are on the move. Off play action on first down. Forced out of the pocket. Quarterback gets enough. He's run out of bounds after the big gain, and they are in business, first and goal. This offensive scoring position with a fresh set of downs. With the run on first and goal. He pushes his way down to the 4 as they get closer and closer. Man down on the play as the officials take a break to let him be checked out. They've pushed it ahead to the 4. They'll try to cash in on second and goal. Back to pass. It falls incomplete. He was trying to find his man for 6.
You've got great field position here. You got to pay it off. Who is your go-to receiver that can make a play in this situation?
Now it's 3rd and goal. From the gun, wants to pass. It's incomplete. He was shooting for the end zone right there. And here comes the field goal unit for the second time tonight. It's good. He could have... String right in the middle of the uprights there. And that'll add 3 more to a lead that is already way out of hand.
And they just tack on more points to this big lead. Listen, fourth quarter was sitting extremely pretty. All we got to do, not give up big plays, make them earn everything they get the rest this way, and we looking pretty good.
Iowa has the ball back on offense. Last time they had it, didn't pick up a first down. Let's see if they can put something together here. Back to throw, it's Montgomery. And the pressure gets there. And down he goes at the 18.
And how about this offense, man? It's been a rough day. You're getting beat down. You're trying to find some kind of momentum late in the game to build something off of, and you give up another sack.
That will take us to the 2-minute timeout, and not much time left for this offense to put together a miracle. That is the last thing you want on first down as an offensive sack. Now it's second down. Pressure coming. Hit as he throws. Just not quite. able to make the connection. It's incomplete.
And this defense has put a game together. Like, it is hard to put all the facets of defense together. Run defense, pass defense. They've been so good, man. Dialed in. You could tell they were ready. They were fast. They were physical. They dominated this football game today.
Looking down the middle. All by himself. And he was loose and not stopped until he gets to the 47-yard line.
Let's go. We got some life. We made a big play, something to build off of. We need a lot of points, and we need them quickly. Time's running out. We're trailing big in this ballgame.
Caught in the backfield, it's Anderson. And he'll run across the sidelines after the good gain. They'll run this play from the pistol. Wants to throw again. Fired just a little too long as the junior frustrated. He missed that connection.
And it's just been that kind of day for this quarterback and this offense, guys. They have never been able to get into a rhythm throwing the football. Timing's been off. Accuracy hasn't been great. We've seen some drops. Just not in sync, and that's why they find themselves trailing by a lot right here late in the game.
And they can't hook up on the big play, and that brings up a 4th down. The Hawkeyes will bring the punt team onto the field. Able to keep them from getting a return, and the ball goes out of bounds. They're going to mark it right around the 20. And Oregon has it back, and here comes the offense. Boy, they have delighted these home fans here by putting this game in a hammerlock, David.
Yeah, and this crowd's been jacked up. They've been excited. Now they get to breathe a little bit, Palmer. Nice lead. This offense needs to go out and protect it.
Yeah, they've been the more physical team all game long. So let's just run the ball. Let's just ice this football game. Take the W into the locker room.
Off the play fake on 1st down, wants to throw. He fires a bullet to the right. Oh, he dropped it. That deep ball was right on the money. You just have to make that catch.
And that's a good stop for this defense. And listen, there hasn't been a lot of positive today, but let's finish this game strong. I think that'll be the message from the defensive coordinator. Can we get a stop? Can we get them off the field? I know a lot's went wrong, but let's live in this moment and try to be great right here to end the game.
They've got it at the 41, 30 short, trying to keep the chains moving. From the gun, wants to pass. It's picked off, and they ruin the drive with a turnover. And they'll drag him down after a good return on the interception.
Never say die attitude, and I love that, especially in these young players, because they're out there competing. And I know the scoreboard right now doesn't look pretty. They're not going to come back and win this football game, but I just love kids that are competing until there's zeros on the clock.
What a spectacular grab there as they try to finish this game with a little something to feel good about. What a dynamic play on that last one. Flips the field, and they've got it 1st and 10 from the 28. Under fire. Can't find a man, and he'll be knocked down at the 40.
And that play is a microcosm of what this game has been. They have not been able to protect their quarterback all game long, early or late, up front. Moving forward, this offense has got to do a better job, or else they're going to be in a lot of trouble. You cannot give up as many sacks as they have in this game and expect to win.
And the defense settled in to stop that one for a short gain. Trying to pick up a 1st down. On 3rd and long, doesn't need to take the check down. And here's a fumble way behind the line. Sometimes the ball just bounces your way, and the offense very lucky to keep possession on that one. Clock is stopped. Timeout used by the defense. 14 seconds left. And the Hawkeyes line up to punt it away. They'll look to pin him deep. A fairly short distance here toward the sidelines. Not his best work. All wideouts, no backs. Quarterback making checks. Wants to throw on 1st down. Fires to the wideout. Complete downfield. And he was off to the races. Finally tripped up at the 36. And after this play, the cake will be baked. Timeout on the field and 4 ticks left to go. They'll snap it from from the 36. They've got a first down. Looking downfield on first down. He uncorks a bullet to the right. When you know you have a team outclassed, the ability to play to that standard and finish with a blowout like this is really impressive.
And it's almost like playing against yourself, right? You know you're better. You know you're going to win the football game, but how do I continue to still execute? This was so easy. Great execution. Just beat down in every facet.
And I think as a player, you just love being in such great rhythm. And we saw that right from the get-go.